It's time for a quick bite with AJ in the Midday on Praise 96.5 WMGY.
WMGY Praise 96.5. We're Montgomery's inspiration station, and we're at the pulse of our community, and our efforts continue. Today, we're talking with Marjorie Baker. She's with the One Place Family Justice Center, and I've been hearing so much uh, great work from the Family Justice Center, and I know that our community wants to know as well. So we're excited to talk to you today, Marjorie. Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about the One Place Justice Center and some of the goals of the center.
Great. Thank you so much for having me, AJ. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited about One Place Family Justice Center too, because we're actually celebrating 10 years of service in October. So we have been doing this work for 10 years. One Place Family Justice Center started under the concept of a one-stop shop, meaning that we wanted to provide comprehensive services with several agencies under one roof. Individuals in the past have had to travel to different agencies, and then sometimes they get discouraged along the way. So we wanted to bring together this national concept. And it all came together in 2010 when the county commission and the city of Montgomery mayor decided to adopt this concept, and then they purchased a building and they brought in agencies that address domestic violence, sexual assault, child abuse, elder abuse, stalking, and recently, over the last year, human trafficking. So we see those type of situations where individuals can come in and talk to several different agencies that they choose to talk to. Those agencies, some of the agencies that are um, on the premises 40 hours a week include Legal Services Alabama, the city of Montgomery, not only the city magistrate, but also the Montgomery Police Department, DV unit. We also have a STAR program, Standing Together Against Rape. We have Montgomery County DA. They are available, a DA and VSO officers to address felony crimes. In addition to that, we have Jones School of Law. They are a full-time partner with us. They take a little break during the school break, but they also have attorneys that can consult with you. And then we have additional anywhere from 20 to 25 off-site partners that are willing to come on-site or make a plan with us when we have crisis cases. So our number one goal is to wrap victims who are in crisis with services that they need, and they don't have to travel all over the city to get them. So we're at 530 South Lawrence Street, and you don't have to have an appointment. You can just walk in from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday.
And I want to pause just a minute and congratulate you all on 10 years of service. And with all of these services that are being provided, you all don't get a chance to rest. Give us some examples of some of the things that are going on with you all right now that we're in the midst of COVID-19.
Unfortunately, COVID-19 has caused an increase in domestic violence and sexual assault across the board. We're seeing nationally that more victims are isolated. More victims feel like they don't have resources because our world has set up a concept of safer at home. But for the victims we serve, it's unfortunately more unsafe at home. So COVID-19, we have really tried to keep the word out through social media, through the public, that we are not closed, that we want you to reach out. We don't want you to feel like there are no resources. So what you will find is a victim may be able to get away. We had a victim just recently. She had been trapped for like 3 days because unfortunately her partner was not working due to COVID-19. So he watched her every move. And so she could not get away for at least 3 days. So when she finally got away, she came to one place. She talked to the police department. She thought about signing a warrant. She consulted. You do not have to make an immediate decision. She consulted with legal services about what were her legal options as far as a divorce or a separation. And then we tried to get her into some shelter. We gave her some food and clothing. And actually, she relocated with her daughter in Louisiana. So we're trying to answer immediate needs for victims who are in a major crisis. And so typically what we find is that victims are needing immediate services. This is not something that can wait. So One Place is here to address crisis situations. In addition to crisis, one of our it's exciting because it's right here under our agency, it's the STAR program, Standing Together Against Rape, and that's 24 hours. We're open 8 to 5, but STAR is open 24 hours a day, meaning that they can do a sexual assault exam, they can provide you advocacy and consultation, whether the assault happened at 3 a.m. or 3 p.m. They can work with you. And that exam office is right here on our property, and they're a part of our agency. Actually, they are a One Place agency, the STAR program. So we're proud to have programs that can meet your immediate need.
You all do an awesome job. You mentioned earlier something about elder abuse. Can you speak on that?
Yes, unfortunately, our community and our world sometimes don't recognize that. That is a crime throughout our country. Department of Human Resources has adult protective services. Usually a report needs to be made if an elder person is being taken advantage of or abused. And then we try and provide resources and get that elder victim in another living situation where they can be taken care of. So our DA office actually has an elder abuse unit that we work very closely with. So if there needs to be charges against a person, that unit can meet with that victim at one place and they can get the ball rolling. Those are sometimes tough cases because usually you're depending on a family member and it happens within the family, and that family member is not allowing you to reach out to anybody else. So when elder abuse comes to us, that's typically a very serious case where we're needing some additional resources because that elderly person is totally dependent on this one caretaker.
Praise is primarily a gospel station, and so our audience is the church community. Have you found that sexual assault happens a lot in this community? And tell us about some of the negative stigma that's associated with it.
Great question. Yes, it happens more often than we realize. Many times, 1 in 4 women will be assaulted, and 1 in 7 men will be physically assaulted. And then when you start talking about sexual assault, 1 in 3 women will be sexually assaulted. So this is a crime that happens, but continues to be very silent. Number one, victims are ashamed and they don't want to prosecute. And this can happen in relationships where victims are sexually assaulted. That's a crime. We're not just talking about stranger rape. We're talking about where individuals met someone and they began to get aggressive and took full advantage of them. So it's not just stranger rape. So that happens in our community pretty consistently. And victims can reach out. They don't have to make a decision about pressing charges. They can have a medical exam that can stay on the record for a period of time until they decide if they want to go through with prosecution. So it's good to have evidence on record for that kind of behavior, because if you don't get evidence early, it will go away. So sexual assault crimes are something that we really want to stress to the community. It's important to document regardless of whether you prosecute.
How can the church community help you to get your message across?
I think our church community could definitely reach out as one of the leaders in our community that individuals listen to. So address it in small group settings to have real open discussions with individuals, address it from the pulpit, address it with individuals when different missionary groups and different deacon and deaconess groups address this issue as if it is something that needs to be discussed as part of the church growth. So I think our religious community could really take this on as far as being the leaders of saying this is unacceptable.
So I know that I think it's the month of October is Domestic Violence Month.
Correct. And April is Sexual Assault Month.
So how can, the community help you all more with getting your message out, and how can they make contact with you all?
Number one, they can partner with us and do some awareness. Purple is the color that stands out during October. So putting large purple ribbons on your doors, inviting us in to discuss it with different groups in the church, wearing purple ribbons and having discussions about it openly. And then, so if they contact us, because it's September already, so we would love to hear early on so we can prepare and be available to come and speak to groups. So October is the month that we get pretty busy. So it is a good time to go ahead and call us at our office number, which is 334-262-7378. If you would like to bring this subject to your church group, to your church family to discuss.
Just in case you just tuned in, I'm AJ in the Midday, and we're talking with Marjorie Baker. She's the executive director of the One Place Justice Center, and she's talking about the just overwhelming amounts of services that take place there in the Justice Center. They're a one-stop shop for domestic violence and sexual assault. And so, Marjorie, tell us what you want the community to know as we get ready to close this interview.
I appreciate the time. I want our community to truly, truly understand that domestic violence, sexual assault, dating violence, stalking, these type of violence against family members and individuals that we say that we love and care about, they are a crime. This is a crime that must be addressed. This is not a private matter. This is a societal issue, and we need to speak up about it. We need to speak up and stand up for victims who were not speaking up for themselves. And we need to support that this is unacceptable in our community. So more than anything, I want, if our victims are listening, to know that this is a crime and it is not your fault. If our community is listening and they just want to know in general, I want them to know that they can support this by backing this up, speaking openly more about it, and supporting those that you possibly or know for sure are involved in these type of situations.
Tell us how we can make contact with you. Is there a website or perhaps telephone numbers that the public can reach you?
Great. Our website is www.oneplacefjc.org. And then our telephone number is 334-262-7378. Our crisis line for sexual assault exams is 334-213-1227. And we're located at 530 South Lawrence Street near the public library. And you don't have to have an appointment, 8 to 5. You can walk in.
Thank you so much, Marjorie, for chatting with us and giving us this valuable information about the wonderful services that are provided to the community from the One Place Justice Center. Hope you have a great day. And look, we ask you to contact Praise 96.5 anytime you need our assistance.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us for a quick bite with AJ in the Midday on Praise 96.5 WMGY.